In Abuja, in Kaduna rather, where the federal government is to begin Airborne Geophysical Survey in 19 states of the Federation. The General Manager at Nigerian Mining Cadastre Office, Obadiah Nkom, made this known when he visited the acting governor of Kaduna State, Dr. Hadiza Balarabe. Mr. Nkom, who led a team from the Ministry of Mines and Steels Development, said that the survey will last for 8 months. He said the mineral sector support for Economic Diversification Project is a World Bank-supported project under the ministry. The survey will be carried out in 119 local government areas to determine accurate mineral locations using modern-day ferromagnetic mechanism. The key priority of the federal government is to enhance the diversification of the economy to a broader range of productive sectors. President Muhammad Buhari has approved the review of 368 grazing reserves across 25 states in the country to nip the problem of the farmers' herders crisis in the board. Presidential spokesman Garuba Shehu said in a statement that the president gave the order based on the recommendations of a committee chaired by the chief of staff to the president. Mr. Shehu said the committee also recommended the collection of field data on the grazing routes to assess levels of encroachment, stakeholder engagement, and sensitization. Let's dig this story down a bit as we have a legal practitioner, Ola Daniels, who joins us live via Zoom from Lagos. Good to have you join us. Olayinka Daniels, if you can hear me, okay. I just want to get your thoughts on this, because the president has said that he was going to do this earlier this year when he said that he was going to revisit the grazing routes. Now we see that a committee has been put in place to do that. Help us understand what this means in light of the Constitution, the Land Use Act, and then just other relevant laws.
Well, it's unfortunate we are here, and I'm not going to blame Mr. President for his action. I'm going to blame his advisor, who happens to be Mr. Attorney General, because if you give the president wrong advice, whatever that he's doing will be based on that. And if you remember when Mr. President was, during the interview on Rice, he said he would listen to his Attorney General. He would not discard his advice. Meaning that if Attorney General is not giving Mr. President the right advice, we will be where we are today. Because right now, it's clear, the Land Use Act made it clear. The state has absolute absolute power over their lands. And the law they are even referring to, this is in 1965, 1963, and ism is in the Nigerian, the northern Nigerian law, not even the entire country. The only reserve in Ogun State, and Oyo has two, and Ogun has one, and that was even then, and they were not even gazetted. So I don't know why Mr. President is looking for what is not lost. And I don't know why they want to insist on, gazetting, number of land reserves when we are talking about, this thing is outdated. Grazing, our open grazing is so outdated. This is not what we should be talking about. We have so many issues in the country as we speak that need so much attention, and not, wasting our time, wasting all the little time you have to fix things within the short time this administration has. But what we see is them looking for what is lost, trying to, find number of open graze reserve in over 20, 21, 25 states. It's seriously, we really need to sit tight and understand the priorities of solutions, of things we need to do in this country. Because
but let me quickly jump in here. Because I also want to ask this. Some states or some state governors have already have bills in the state houses of assembly to ban open grazing. If the president goes ahead with this, for example, and then one of the states that have banned open grazing, if there is an act in that state to ban open grazing, and the president goes ahead with this, what then happens in such a state? What then is the superior law in that state?
Very well, thank you. Don't forget that Mr. President Directive, Attorney General Directive, is not superior to the 99 Constitution, as we all know. The superior law remains the constitution of our land. And there is nowhere written in that constitution, even section 318 of 99 Constitution as amended, made it clear. It's even trying to have an open grazing. So if Mr. President go ahead to gazette it and all that, as long as that thing is inconsistent, as long as that gazette is inconsistent with the provision of the Constitution, it is void ab initio. So if they should go ahead, the states had already, and the Constitution had made it clear, the land user made it clear. The governor had the power over the state. Anyone that wants to do, that wants to go on grazing should look for a land, should talk to the government of any state. HOS2 is the business. So Mr. President should not, my advice to Mr. President is to jettison that idea, because it will conflict and contradicting the provision of the Constitution, of the 1999 Constitution. That is the law as far as this country is concerned. And 1965, 1963 does not apply here, because what we are using today is the 1999 Constitution, and it's so clear, it's not ambiguous. So if Mr. Malami, Mr. Attorney General, has advised Mr. President wrongly, and they are also both doing this to bring out whatever they have, as long as it's inconsistent with the provision of the Constitution, it is void. So it will not see the light. It will not see the light of the day.
All right, we are yet to hear from the governors, although they already made their resolution in the meeting they had in Asaba. We'll see how they respond to this latest statement coming from the president.
What we have told the governors is to make sure that the House of Assembly of each state make sure that this law stands. They should go and do what is necessary and make it the law of their state.
I'm afraid I have to leave it there. I wish we had more time to look at that, but I'm afraid we'll have to leave it there. Legal practitioner Olayinka Ola Daniels, thanks for talking to us. Meanwhile, the Controller General of Corrections is calling on society to show more compassion for ex-convicts to enable their reintegration back into society. Haliru Nababa says stigmatizing them could make the ex-convicts go back into criminality. Sifon Essien reports.
Ehime Osahon has done his time at the custodial center of the Correctional Service. He is among several others who will be receiving aftercare materials to start a new life.
I spent 4 years, 8 months in correction. I was reformed. Now I can rehabilitate with my fellow citizens outside there and peaceful integration. For me to integrate well, I need a trade.
The gesture is part of a reform program meant to transform the prisons to penitentiaries. The 2019 Act transforming the Nigeria prison into the correctional service prescribes the implementation of programs that will aid the reintegration of inmates. This is the second time the service will be handing out aftercare materials to ex-convicts.
We have agreed members of the public to give us the chance so as ex-offenders to have soft landing by allowing them to fully reintegrate in society. Stigmatizing them has often driven them back to normality.
The service also seized the opportunity to distribute medical items to its custodial centers across the country.
On the 31st July 2019, the fact that the section 10 of the NOC Act 2019 clearly stipulates implementing information and rehabilitation programs to enhance the integration of inmates back into society as one of the functions of the MCOs, largely underscores the significance of this operation.
But what appears enormous to the correctional service is the role they will be playing in implementing the non-custodial sentencing, a concept which is new in the country. Sifon Essien, TVC News.
The Nigeria Center for Disease Control has reported 674 new cases of COVID-19, taking the country's total number of confirmed cases to 185,267. Lagos recorded the highest number of new cases with 355 new infections, followed by Rivers with 87 cases, while the Federal Capital Territory with 38 new cases. So far, 167,923 people have been discharged, while 2,244 people have died from COVID-19 complications. where over 100,000 residents of Delta State have pre-registered online in the ongoing continuous voter registration, with just over 3,000 in-person registration completed so far. The Independent National Electoral Commission and the state government have continued to sensitize the people on the need to register in the 26 centers across the state to be eligible to participate in elections. Ikenamechi has more.
There are 26 in-person registration centers in Delta State, with one in each of the 25 local government areas. Asaba, the capital, has 2 centers. One is close to the Oshimili South Council Secretariat, and the other is here at the INEC State Headquarters, where surprisingly few people turned up either to complete their online registration or register afresh.
Process is stress-free. Like me, I did my online. The week is the registration started. So I just came here to get the printout, which is this.
I registered as a voter before, but I didn't get my voter's card, so I came to start all over, yes.
At the Oshimili local government INEC office, the story is not any different, as few registrants are seen here too.
Waiting make me register, I want vote for our youth in order to, because made in Nigeria become good, because the person who would think say go help us, waiting we expect we no see.
Worried by the low turnout, the resident electoral commissioner has been collaborating with individuals and organizations to sensitize the people to come out for the exercise. Today is here at the office of the Delta State Commissioner for Information in furtherance of his mission.
Our coming here is just to also to continue to tell you to please continue to send a message out that we are all in the nooks and crannies of this state for the purpose of this exercise. That all those that are 18 years and above are entitled, those who did not register are entitled to go and register. Those who have problems with their PVCs, with damage, defects, or whatever, have a chance to go for reissuance.
We will continue to support you, and if in the course of this sensitization you think we can still go the extra mile beyond the deployment of our state organs and putting it at your disposal, if there is any other thing you think we could do, I be rest assured that we're not going to hesitate to do that.
As they depart, their desire is to see increased number of people showing up at the centers to register. It takes about 4 to 5 minutes to register here, and the INEC and indeed the Delta State government are calling on everyone above the age of 18 to register and be able to participate in upcoming elections in the country. Ikenna Amechi, TVC News, Asaba.